Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. This is the first video out of many videos that I'll be making. Just a little bit of background about myself is my name is Joshua Bonage. I am a brand manager at a e-commerce marketing agency, specifically working with Amazon. Additionally, I am the co-founder of a B2B and B2C full funnel marketing agency that also has a Discord community. So a bunch of stuff on this channel is going to be related to marketing, AI, automations, business development. You name it, I'll probably touch base on it in this channel. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. How's it going, everybody? Wanted to make this video basically touching base on what I use for my LinkedIn content generation, what I use to actually save time utilizing ChatGPT, the prompt I use, the extensions I use to kind of save time whenever I am structuring my LinkedIn post. I think the number one thing that a lot of business owners and a lot of freelancers, people do side hustles, I mean, anything like that, the number one thing that people struggle with is content generation. Whether it's, LinkedIn, whether it's Instagram, whether it's, Facebook, TikTok. I feel like content generation is one of those things that you need to spend hours and hours, or a lot of people spend hours and hours on, that you can really refine that down and save yourself a lot of time. So I will say that a lot of this post, or a lot of this video, is inspired off of Luke Matthews. If you don't know who that is, you can check him out on LinkedIn. A very great content creator on LinkedIn, has tons of followers, lots of engagement, teaches about utilizing AI and stuff like that within LinkedIn. And so I'd seen his prompt kind of floating around. I took it and I twisted it in a way that was more refined for what I was needing, and something that I feel generates better output in my current version. So real quickly, we are going to jump in to the actual prompt itself. Let me make this a little bit bigger so we won't have a problem with actually reading it. So I will kind of break this down, and as you can tell, if you've seen Luke Matthews post, I forgot where I found it. You might see like one or two things that are pretty similar here. I think like rehook, start the post with how to, how I, something that should be very common that people should be utilizing here. But everything else is pretty refined to something that is a little bit better, right? Something that outputs things a lot more efficiently with a lot less errors. One thing that we do need to note is that the extension that I'm going to be using throughout this video is going to be helping us format the copy. One thing that we need to know is that ChatGPT is AI. It's not really great with actually formatting the actual content to fit what you need for LinkedIn. So we'll touch base on that, but to jump into the actual prompt itself, to start, that I have written is I want to let it know what I am, right? Keep in mind, this is all going to be based on the free version. You don't need to use, it doesn't matter what model you really use here. ChatGPT 4, ChatGPT 4.0, doesn't really matter here. But for the sake of this video, we'll use ChatGPT 4. But free account, not adding in any extra knowledge files for this. So I'm going to be letting it know, or I'm going to let it know, what it is, right? What are you going to be doing today? So you're a LinkedIn content creator that posts viral content. Let's just get that out of the way. Number 2, review the following guidelines thoroughly before starting on what I need you to write. One thing that I would like to always embed into people's brains whenever working with ChatGPT is you need to treat it like a child. You have to always be very straightforward, very simple in what you're explaining to it, right? But additionally, you constantly need to remind it, especially when you're trying to train ChatGPT. So you need to be straightforward and simple, right, and direct tell it exactly what it needs to do, but then you need to constantly kind of reiterate that. In this case, this is a one simple post, so we're not really having to reiterate anything. That's why everything's embedded into this. But if you need a chat to kind of remember how you structure everything, then this is stuff that's kind of helping to like, hey, you have to read this, you have to understand this before you write anything, right? I need you to confirm this. So, and something additionally that I think is really good is my co-founder of Macrominds kind of showed me that he adds into his prompting is, let's say, review the following guidelines early before starting on what I need you to write. But then additionally, confirm with me if you need anything else to write the prompt before actually starting it. Taken a yes response. All right, I don't really need to add it. Let's just say that. Confirm with me if you need anything else to write the prompt for actually starting it. This confirms if ChatGPT needs anything to just really make a very solid post, right? So the next statement is, please write me a viral LinkedIn post about. In this case, it's going to be whatever your topic or niche or field is. In my case, I do a lot of work within e-commerce. I don't know if you guys can see right above there. I work for an agency called My Amazon Guy that does e-commerce. Additionally, I also run a full funnel marketing agency for B2B and B2C brands alike. So we also handle like Google Ads, Meta Ads, etc. So today, let's just say I want to write a viral LinkedIn post about, we'll insert the topic here and we'll say the power of negations in auto campaigns. And then let me just do this for the sake of my own sanity. So there we go. All right, and then now we can jump into the actual breakdown and the rules, the guidelines of what you're trying to give ChatGPT to actually generate the post, right? So number one, this is the one that I think is really important that I grabbed from Luke, is you must start the post with a how-to or how-I educational hook. I feel like that's, you know what I mean? That's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. It puts yourself in that situation of, I did it, I succeeded. You're basically setting up the education on, this is why I'm, I guess, knowledgeable enough to teach you. Like, this is why I can teach you about this, because this is how I did this and how I learned from it, right? This is how I did X and how I succeeded. So must start the post with a how-to, how-I educational hook. Number two, you must make a polarizing claim about the topic on line 2. Polarizing is another big thing that, you know what I mean? It's a type of tone that people can be using in advertising as well. I really like the term, kind of polarizing. I want to have that type of content that makes someone stop and look at it and like, they're like, what the hell? Like, what'd you actually just post? But, I want to grab that attention of the reader, right? Definitely want to grab that attention. So number 3, additionally, is the rehook. You must add a rehook in the middle of the post. Number 3, so let's say, at this point, you should probably already have maybe around like 10 lines of copy, right? 8 to 10 lines of copy. Not paragraphed, but you know what I mean? Just straight sentence before you even have that rehook implemented. But this is to keep the reader engaged, right? This is if they're losing their interest halfway through the post, this is to re-grab their attention and keep them sunken into the story, right? Number 4, you must not write more than 425 words. I've tested this. I think that some people use 500, some 400, some 600. I think that it really depends on what type of content you're trying to generate. And the type of content I'm trying to generate, I think 400, 425, give or take, doesn't matter too much, is pretty ideal, which in fact, I'm probably going to just put this at 400 for today to make the post a little bit shorter. Number 5, you must place a call to action question about the topic at the end of the post. This helps drive engagement. I feel like this is needed. It doesn't always have to be necessarily a question, Well, I mean, I guess in a way questions would be best. I mean, whether it's like a poll, like, do you guys prefer X or Y? Or you can just ask a question like, hey, have you used XYZ before to generate this, right? This is kind of where it's leaning towards just trying to get the people to actually engage on the post, right? And start off in that comment section. Number 6, you must use emotion and storytelling when writing. I think that is also pretty common or pretty easy to understand. There is, people like storytelling, people like stories, right? It's entertaining. It invokes emotion with the reader as well, to where they can, fit inside of your shoes and kind of see themselves in your situation. And it's very motivational when you're creating LinkedIn content. So add in number 1, use emotion, storytelling when writing. Number 7, you must keep emojis to a minimum. Headers are fine, and be careful about overdoing them anywhere else. I've noticed that whenever you're generating LinkedIn content or content in general, ChatGPT is absolutely awful when it comes to using emojis. It's terrible. Absolutely hate it. I think they usually add in anywhere from like 9 to 10 plus emojis anytime I'm trying to generate content. And I think it looks ugly. It distracts the reader from the actual meat and potatoes of the content. I think that you should keep emojis honestly a minimum to 2, 3 max. But we'll see what ChatGPT decides to write up for us today. Next section, this is where I like to kind of really explain what I am, add in tone of voice, add in any other requirements here. So for this, you're writing on behalf of a business to consumer expert content creator who uses a laid back, but once again, polarizing style of writing to capture attention. You must keep the same tone. Now, let's go back to the must section. So when it comes to the must section, right, and why I capitalize this is you need to be straightforward with ChatGPT. Jumping back to what I said earlier, is you need to treat it like it's a child. You need to be very assertive with how you're talking to ChatGPT, right? Try to stray away from, can you please do this? How about trying this? You need to be assertive, right? So adding in must forces, that assertiveness. It forces ChatGPT to understand, like, okay, we have to include this. This isn't optional. This is needed to actually generate the output that he's needing, right? Once again, adding in must down here, just always, I feel like anytime you're writing it, whenever you need something 1000%, always add in that little must statement. It's really key. Next step is you must use the following post as a guideline for structure. Hey, just a reminder that I run a full funnel marketing agency that also handles everything from Google Ads, Meta Ads, and LinkedIn Ads, as well as content creation, SEO, and above. So if you're interested or need any marketing for your business or brand, then I'll have it in the description below, as well as we also have a community on Discord focused on business development, networking, and just overall building in public. So if you're interested in checking out any of our events or just straight up learning about anything business related or marketing, then I will also have the community link in the description below. Now, ChatGPT is really great at taking in reference and utilizing it. I am a big believer in utilizing what works, right, and not trying to reinvent the wheel. So in this case, this is where I'm going to show you guys a new feature, right, or a new extension that I found myself. It's probably been around for a little bit. Let me try to see if I can go to Chrome extensions. We'll check this out. And it is called Clio. So for LinkedIn content, this would be considered a replica of, I think it's called Authored Up. So what it does is it allows you to view your LinkedIn content in responsive sizing, right? So obviously think about a website is your desktop size, and how it's built out and containered. It's going to look 10 times different than when it's on mobile, right? When we're creating content, we need to understand that the mass majority of the consumers of our content, right, the readers in our audience, is probably going to be on mobile, right? It's a social media application, right? Chances are the majority are going to be on mobile. So with this, I utilize this to kind of optimize my content, my LinkedIn post to fit mobile responsive a little bit better, right? But additionally, what I'm going to use this for is to find a post. Well, actually, I'm not gonna use it to find a post. So what you can do is if you open it up, you're able to kind of see top posts going on and trending right now, popular posts, recent hits on this day, creator spotlights, and you're able to kind of look through other creators, especially if I'm looking up names. So in this case, I want to take Luke Matthews' style of writing, and I want to take his post structure, right? So then if I search up Luke Matthews, Clio's going to recognize that, and then it's going to take his best performing post and shoot it straight to the top for me. Think that is an absolute banger feature. So when I'm looking at this, right, I don't have to scrummage through all of his posts to see what was working and what looks best. I'm going to check out what actually did work. So this was a little bit older. Maybe this isn't going to work as good current day, but we'll still test it out. So I'm going to take this full post. I'm going to go back over to my LinkedIn generator, and I'm going to copy this in. And in fact, I'm actually going to start writing this into ChatGPT because I know that formatting can be a little bit of a problem. So we're going to actually start, we're going to start writing this. So we're going to do this, split it up. The power of negations and auto campaigns. In Amazon, all this is fine. That's gonna, okay, cool, fine. All right, cool. Now we can go back, take the post, and then we can insert the post here. So we're gonna do this, boom, in quotations, good. Like I said, ChatGPT doesn't, format very well. But just to reread this, you're a LinkedIn content creator, blah, 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 need you to write, confirm to me anything else to write, the prompt for actually starting it, power of negations and auto campaigns, post. All right, I think we're honestly good to run this. So I'm gonna open this up. I'm going to run the prompt. All right, now we can see that's actually not terrible. That was going to be a little bit worse, but we'll use it. So let's check into the next feature of Clio that I personally absolutely adore. Is if you open this up, you will see this new responsive window, and you'll see down here, powered by Clio. So it basically shows what it looks like as a real post, and then you can adjust it for phone, tablet, and desktop sizing, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post or paste the content in here. As you know, it doesn't really paste over too well, and it doesn't format the greatest. So we are going to be manually formatting this to fit what we think LinkedIn content should look like, right? So let's read through this. Certainly, okay, let's remove this. Take this out. All right. How I turbocharge sales by unlocking the power of negations in Amazon auto campaigns. Here's secret sauce. Most sellers on Amazon set up auto campaigns and forget about them, but they're leaving money on the table. A bold statement, right? Okay. Let's split that. So most sellers set up a bold statement, right? So what I'm going to do here, and this is going to be pretty interesting. I'm going to use Obsidian. Well, actually, I'm going to go back here. I did save an emoji that I do love to use whenever I'm doing this, right? So I like to add in little text emojis, like over like real emojis. I think that the actual emojis kind of take away a little too much. Like I said, I think in some cases it's really good, but I think it hurts more than it helps in a lot of situations, right? So bold statement, right? Here's why it's true. Actually, let's do this. Here's why it's true. Auto campaigns without negations, like having a car with no brakes. You might go fast, but you're bound to crash. Yep, love it. Here's the deal. Kind of like that. So we'll say this. We'll add in a little dots. Here's a rehook. You're setting up auto campaigns. You're not just flying blind, you're flying into a storm. So we're going to take this rehook. I like to have it kind of in the middle of the content. So we're going to need to figure out and actually let me just write this. So there we go. We can see the mobile responsiveness of how this will actually look. So here's why it's true. Here's the deal. Scrutinize wasn't negations is about trimming the fat. They're about skeleton the lean. So this is the rehook. We are going to remove that. If you're setting up auto campaigns, wait slash with halfway in sight. Think of negations as your secret weapon. Okay. Let's do that. Setting up auto campaigns. You're not just live. Storm negations aren't about trimming the fat. So I'm actually gonna remove this because I feel like there's too much wordplay here. So I think everything else is good. Remember, this is the one that's kind of getting me. It's a little long. So then we're gonna, ooh, no, don't do that. So then I'm gonna grab this again. And then I'm gonna drop that here. So yeah, here we go. I think just within a couple of minutes, it's already looking much better, right? Adds in the hashtags here, which is cool. Chat in the comments, obviously we can reword that. If you have, and additionally, if you have a specific type of like tone or a specific type of way you actually like to write it, obviously we added it in the prompt, but if you utilize something like ChatGPT Pro, utilize the custom file knowledge embedding on custom, like on one of the custom bots, then you'll be able to input, you know, more content, more of your brand tone, stuff that's a little bit more in depth to actually help you write this a little bit better, right? And keep your tone. But overall, this generated me the entire story, and I feel like this is really good as someone who works in it day to day. I feel like this definitely hits home in some sections. I do feel like there's plenty of opportunity to maybe kind of trim up. No, I think that's fine to kind of trim everything up. Let's bold this. One bold is fine. Perfect. All right, so from the start of that, we already took me what, maybe like 5-10 minutes max. I was able to generate a really well thought out post, really well optimized for mobile. Can't tell if this is going to perform. Maybe if I make a secondary video, if I do decide to post this and make a secondary video, we can look at the data, see how it performs. But if you're interested in checking out the extension called Clio, I will leave the link in the description below. Additionally, if you're interested in checking out our Discord community, that will also be in the description below, mainly just focused on networking, building in public. We hold a lot of events in there, such as business masterminds, agency master plans, content hours to where you just make content to lo-fi music and just hang out with other business owners, and just straight up network. So if you're interested, like I said, everything will be in the description below, and let me know if you gain value from this video.